Speaking of email, that really needs to be our next focus here, because 90% of the time, when you contact a faculty member on campus and it's not face-to-face, it will be through email. And email is a form of communication. It's actually a very old form of communication. It was invented in the 60s. You can look it up on Wikipedia. Being totally serious, it's actually very interesting if you're a nerd like me. Okay. The thing is, over the last 10 to 15 years, communication has changed. We've seen the emergence of new forms of communication, primarily short-form, text-based messaging. So you have texting, you have chat, you have IM, you have Twitter. These things are actually affecting the way that you write, to the point where you have developed a new form of English with its own grammatical structures, its own words, its own acronyms. People are actually studying this. They find it that fascinating, how you write in these text things. But the thing is, this is affecting how you write email, because email is meant to be letter form, not text form. Right? And so to give you an example of how this has changed, I actually want to read you an excerpt from a letter that was written during the Civil War. It was written by a guy named Sullivan Ballou. Okay. This isn't actually him, I just thought it looked like him. And to give you some context, Sullivan did not have the benefits of formalized education like you did not have the same type of compulsory schooling and all of those good things. Okay, and this is a letter that he had written to his wife on the eve of going into battle when he was convinced he was going to die. These were the last words from him that she would ever read. Okay, so if we could set the tone, much better. And I will recite this to you in Civil War voice. Okay. If anyone has a harmonica, now's the time. Every night I'm just hoping, no one. My very dear sir, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Lest I shall not be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write lines that may fall into your eye when I shall be no more. And the people who love writing, they're like that last sentence in particular, the meter, the flow, it's the perfect sentence, it's beautiful. Right, here's another one. But oh, sir, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you. In the garish day and in the darkest night, amidst your happiest scenes and gloomiest hours, always, always. And if there be a soft breeze upon your cheek, it shall be my breath. Or the cool air fans your throbbing temple, it shall be my spirit passing by. I'd marry this guy in a heartbeat. A beautiful letter from this guy who didn't really have the type of schooling you did, right? Let's compare that to an email that we got from a Kent State student 2 years ago, and this isn't actually him, I just like to think it is. For those of you who haven't seen this, you're not cool unless you are 4 popped collars cool. Some of you need to layer up. Okay. So let's take a look at that email, right? Good email. Okay. This is verbatim. I didn't change anything. Is there any way I can make up for my missed assignments and get them to you because I can't afford to fail? A few problems. One is I have no idea who this is, right? Because he didn't tell me. And the other thing is it's obvious that he screwed up. And from a faculty perspective, why do I want to go out of my way to help someone else who screwed up when they can't be bothered to use a shift key in a period? Right? Legitimate question. What this guy didn't get is email is different, right? And this also brings up an interesting point that, again, 90% of the time when it's nonverbal communication with a faculty member, it will be through email. And 90% of the time there, it will be because you need something, right? Because you missed class and you need notes, or you need an extension, or you need help with something, or you need to know about study sessions, or who you can talk to. All those good things. You need something, and I want you to get what you want. So I'm going to give you my 3-minute, 3-step plan to writing the perfect email to any faculty member. Okay, here it is. Step 1, one sentence where you answer 2 questions. Those questions are, who are you? And more importantly, how do I know you? And this is called context. Okay? You are lowering the barrier for them. They might have hundreds of students. They might be adjunct, which means that they work somewhere else and they come here to teach their skills. They might be involved with multi-million-dollar grant-funded research because we are a research school. Okay? What this means is they don't immediately know who you are right off the bat. So all you have to do is say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm in your 9 to 9:50, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, general psych class. And this lets them know not only who you are, so they can look you up and check their notes, but also how they know you and what types of resources to direct you to. This lowers the barrier that they need to jump over to help you, and it makes it more likely that you will get what you want. Step 2, while you're doing this, keep it simple, 4 to 5 sentences tops. Anything longer than that is called a novel. Right? For people who are busy, if they interpret an email as being too long, they'll do one of two things. They'll skim it, and you don't get exactly what you want, or they won't read it at all, in which case you don't get what you want. Right? So keep it short and to the point, and while you're doing this, be classy. Dear Professor so-and-so, dear Dr. so-and-so. No one ever says this to them. So if you just start your email like this, you've immediately scored like 20 points with them. Right? They love that. They love seeing title. Okay? When you sign off, sincerely, with regards, your name, some contact information so that they can get back with you as easily as possible. Right? Lowering the barrier for them to help you. And step 3, the most important because it's the most overlooked step, spell check. Right? Me too. I'm actually glad he's not here anymore. So, spell check, which should not be hard for a 4 to 5 sentence long email, right? The thing is, I know some of you do struggle with spelling and with grammar, and I recognize those struggles, and I appreciate the extra effort that you put in, because I know that you're trying. For those of you who think that this is not as important, that you should be able to write it as a text, and that the professor should be the one to adapt to the changing times in terms of writing email like a text message. I have to say that the problem with that is that a faculty member may interpret, even though this isn't what you intend, that a simple spelling or grammar mistake means I'm lazy or I don't care. And that's not the message that you want to send when you need something. Again, I know some of you think, oh, well, they should just adjust, right? Stuff changes. I should be able to write it as a text message. I want to go through my life regretting no-hing. But spelling matters. Right? Spelling does matter. We had a student here who, in correspondence with his lit professor, referred to the main character of Don Quixote, the novel that they were reading in class, the main character of Don Quixote, the Spanish novel, being Don Quixote, as Donkey Hote. Don Quixote. Fantastic. You can probably imagine how that grade played out. Right? So again, a 3-step process to writing the perfect email. Number 1, identify yourself. Number 2, be efficient with your writing. And number 3, please, please, please check your work.